Welcome to Storytime. AJ had made it into Olivine City, only to meet an angry mob protesting his journey. They claimed that Gator was a false prophet, intent on toppling the Dome and Helix churches, that he was growing too strong and would soon begin his dark work. AJ was horrified. How could people believe any of this? The crowd grew even more intense, as AJ realized he wasn't the only one being yelled at. There was another group that was protesting in favor of AJ, fans who were watching his journey with excitement. AJ stood in the middle of the two groups, listening to the angry cries. Why was this happening? AJ was trying to become champion to restore balance, not for this. As one of the mobbers threw a tomato at Gator, AJ was snapped out of his shock. He had to get his Pokemon out of there before things got violent. AJ ran from the crowd, stopping outside Olivine to catch his breath. How could people hate Laser so much? Sure, he was strong, much stronger than AJ had thought he would grow, but he wasn't like Team Rocket, using his power to conquer others. Still, it was clear AJ had enemies, and he knew now that the Admiral's death was no accident. Someone was targeting AJ, and Gator could be next. He needed the team to be stronger, to make sure they would all be safe. Laser had been silent. AJ had thought he was seething, but in fact it was sadness that had overtaken him. His job was to help AJ, but now he'd become a liability. Was his strength truly something so bad? Could he really be a false prophet? He couldn't imagine AJ ever leading him astray, but he had to do something. It was his job to lead the team, and so far he'd been carrying them way too much. If something were to happen to him, he needed to know the team could go on. They needed to grow stronger without him. Gator decided to leave the team for a little while, to train on his own, to clear his head, and to let the rest of AJ's team catch up to him. AJ didn't want to let his friend go, but he trusted Laser. He knew he would come back. AJ assured him that he didn't care who was against them. He and AJ were going to become champions together, and he would never give up his partner. AJ went off to train the rest of the team, though they all hoped Laser would be safe. When he got back to town to heal, he found a full-on riot. The crowds that were protesting for and against Gator had begun to fight, and AJ was caught in the middle. It was pure chaos as he attempted to reach the Pokemon Center, and it was only once he'd gotten there that he'd realized he was missing someone. And his Drowsy was gone. The crowds quickly dispersed, but the damage had been done. Gator made his way back to the team, a little stronger now but still nowhere near his level. He was too nervous to leave AJ alone any longer. He had too many enemies, and Laser needed to be there in case anything happened. The group set out on the open seas, surfing to Cyanwood Island. AJ battled all sorts of trainers on the way, losing himself to joy and forgetting his troubles for a while. Once there, he made his way to the gym. The challenge here was a series of heavy boulders blocking the path and forming a maze. Though she was small, AJ's Raticate was up to the task, and managed to move them aside so AJ could slowly make his way through. Leader Chucks, Primeape, and Poliwrath were expert fighters, but they stood no chance against Laser, who made quick work of them. AJ had earned his Storm Badge. He made his way to the Pokemart to grab medication for the Ampharos, and explored the island a little bit more. He found a young boy who'd been bullied into giving up his Sneasel. When he described who it was, AJ knew it was Silver. The boy gave AJ his Shuckle to keep safe, and AJ promised to make Silver pay and return the stolen Pokemon. He also saw Suicune again, but it ran away. Making his way back to Olivine, AJ used the medicine to heal the Ampharos in the lighthouse. Jasmine thanked him gratefully and told him that she was the Olivine gym leader, and that she would be waiting for him. Hers is a Steel-type gym, and though he made it through easily, her Magnemite proved formidable, taking out his entire team. After healing his Pokemon, AJ returned and began his counterattack, laser sweeping her team. He had a 6th badge, and he could finally make his way out of Olivine. When he got outside, however, he found the mob back in full force. They had seen how quickly Gator had taken out Jasmine's team and demanded that he be released. They believed AJ had been raising Gator to overthrow the church and destroy the peace he had created. They came after AJ, who was horrified to see 2 of his Pokemon standing in the way. Whipper Goldberg and Prince Omelette stood fearlessly before the mob and motioned to AJ to run. He had no intention of leaving them behind, but Whipper defended the prince as he prepared a metronome attack. The explosion could be seen from miles around. The mob had backed off so no one was hurt, but Whipper Goldberg and Prince Omelette were gone. AJ was shaking with grief and rage. For the first time he addressed the mob, screaming at them as his voice cracked. They were accusing him of being evil, of having bad intentions, but they had cost him 3 of his Pokemon. How could they claim righteousness when the only casualties had been Pokemon trying to defend their master? The mob fell silent. None could meet AJ's eyes. They had been told that he was evil, that Gator was a threat to their country, but looking at them now, all they saw were a boy and his Pokemon grieving for their comrades. They quietly dispersed, and AJ went off to mourn his fallen Pokemon. Leaving Olivine behind for good, he came to Mahogany Town. It was small and quiet, the perfect place for AJ to escape his troubles and reflect for a while. The gym was closed off, so he decided to check out the Lake of Rage, created by a group of rampaging Gyarados some time ago. On the way, Brian fought a Pidgeotto and defeated it, finally evolving himself. As he neared the lake, he heard that though it was mostly Magikarp there now, lately they'd all been evolving into Gyarados suddenly and causing trouble. Getting to the lake, AJ was surprised to see a red Gyarados at the center. He was unfortunately low on Pokeballs, but he thought it would be a great test of his skills anyway. Riding Laser out onto the lake, AJ engaged it in battle. It was a fearsome opponent, but AJ came out on top, winning one of his scales. Going back to shore, he found Lance with the Elite Four waiting for him. AJ was starstruck. Lance was, aside from Red and Blue, the strongest trainer in Kanto and Johto. Lance complimented him on his battling skills, putting him on Cloud 9. He was investigating the Gyarados, and believed that a strange radio signal was causing all the Magikarp to evolve prematurely. He asked AJ to come with him to find the source, which he said was none other than Team Rocket. Thanks for watching Storytime. If you'd like to see more, you can subscribe, or you can follow me on Twitter or Tumblr to get updates when new videos come out. See you soon!